obviously a very emotional game, emotional win, or loss for us, I mean. You know, I know we talked about it at halftime, but turnovers seemed to be a big problem for us tonight. Rebounding, we did a good job, but I felt like offensively we really couldn't get into any kind of rhythm or flow. Just kind of give your thoughts on the game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that sums it up. Turnover is number one. We had us at 27 turnovers, and you're not going to win a ball game against a decent opponent with 27 turnovers. So that's the biggest glaring deficiency. We just somehow weren't ready. You know, basketball is a game that requires more sudden decisions than just about any other sport, maybe with the exception of hockey. And tonight we weren't making those decisions in a good way, in a way that would positively benefit us. So, for whatever reason, you know, we weren't ready, and that's on me. I don't know if maybe we're taking them too lightly, but they're really athletic, and they showed that tonight. We had a real hard time taking them offensively off the dribble, and we didn't get the ball inside as much as we should in order to create space outside then, and so we just struggled. And you know, I think effort-wise was there, but you just look at the execution numbers across the board was really rough. Free throws, you know, they were 9 for 10, I think, in the second half, and we were 4 for 10. And we can just go down the line and point at a lot of stats and say, here's why we lost, but ultimately we just weren't ready to play.
You know, you talked about offensively, particularly fourth quarter. They had, I think, 2 players or even 3 players with 3 or 4 fouls. And we seemed offensively to not be attacking the rim, not be trying to get to the free throw line. I think they ended the fourth quarter with 2 fouls, I think, somewhere in that neighborhood. Do you think that was just settling too much offensively, or?
Yeah, and like I said, they're athletic, they're quick, and so we had trouble getting around them and forcing, you know, drawing the fouls. So we did settle to swing the ball around the perimeter a little too much and not get it inside either by dribbling or passing. And that's, you know, there's 2 ways to get the ball inside. One is to pass it to the post, or one is to dribble it in there. And we didn't do either one. So, you know, somehow we just didn't connect. You know, there's one positive stat that shows, you know, our focus was rebounding. And, you know, every game we take pride in rebounding. And we did that tonight. You know, they did a really good job. I know Sharon first half was all over the place. I thought Mandy had a pretty decent second half. But, you know, every single one of us, you know, needs to take ownership and come back tomorrow ready to play.
Yeah. Obviously, this is a, you know, tough loss to swallow, particularly it being a region opponent as well. But you had said, you know, in previous games, and I know even tonight, I'm sure you talked to your players about, it's done, it's over. What can we learn from this to improve upon and go into the next games going forward?
Yeah, you know, it's really tough. You know, the worst losses are ones you walk away from and go, we should have won, shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know, those type games, and this is one of those for us. So, you know, that's the tough part. You know, if you're overmatched or on paper you shouldn't win, you can kind of walk away and take moral victories or whatever. But you know, this is really tough. So then how do you rebound? And, well, you got to realize that it is a long season. There's going to be some bumps in the road. We'd been playing better basketball, and so we got to get back on that track. And opportunity tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon to do that with CIU. And so hopefully we do think on this a little bit, dwell on the positives, learn from the negatives, and get ready to lace them up again tomorrow.